Get comfy, settle in, and let your worries drift away. Tonight, you're invited on a gentle journey. A magical story ready to unfold just for you. So, wrap yourself in warmth, take a deep breath, and let the tale carry you to a place of wonder and calm. The Library Beyond the Lanternlight. Written for Nestled by the Fire. It was a rainy afternoon, the kind where the clouds hang low and the drizzle paints everything in silver. Tucked away in a quiet part of town stood Maplewick School, a curious old building that looked like it belonged in a storybook. Its stone walls were ivy-covered, and its windows, tall and arched, glowed warmly from within. At the heart of the school was the library, not just any library, but a place of hushed whispers and wooden ladders, of dust motes dancing in shafts of golden light. It smelled like cinnamon and old pages. It was beloved by students, but especially by two best friends, Ellie and Theo. Ellie was always curious, her hair tied up in a loose braid, eyes wide like the world was constantly surprising her. Theo was quieter, thoughtful, often with ink smudges on his fingers, and pockets full of pebble treasures and interesting leaves. They spent many afternoons in the library, curled up under window alcoves or buried in oversized chairs. But on this particular day, something unusual happened. They were exploring the back corner, the one behind the tapestry of the owl reading a book, when Ellie's foot bumped a floor tile that clicked softly. "The floor moved," she whispered. Theo knelt beside her, brushing away the dust. There, slightly ajar, was a small wooden hatch in the floor, almost hidden. With a glance at each other, a look that said, "This could be something special," they opened it. Inside wasn't treasure, but a single book. It had no title on the spine, only a small lantern symbol embossed in gold. Ellie lifted it carefully. "It's warm," she said, surprised. Indeed, the book hummed softly in her hands, like a cat purring. They sat cross-legged and opened the cover. A strange scent, like pine forests and sea salt, drifted into the air. And then, without a sound, the library around them dissolved. They were no longer in Maplewick. Instead, they stood beneath a vast twilight sky, stars glittering above. Around them were floating bookshelves, glowing lanterns, and staircases that twisted like vines. "Welcome to the library between worlds," said a tall woman in robes that shimmered like moonlight. She held a staff made of paper and glass, and her name tag read, Curator Lysandra. Ellie and Theo gasped in wonder. "This place is real?" Theo asked. "As real as stories are," Lysandra replied, smiling. "You found a waybook. Very rare. It means the library has chosen you. Come, let me show you around." They wandered through rooms of whispering scrolls, fields of dandelion books that flew like birds, and reading gardens where characters from stories picnicked under glowing trees. They met a fox who wrote poetry, a clockmaker who mended time with ink, and the dragon who guarded a collection of forgotten dreams. At every turn, Ellie and Theo learned more, not just about magic, but about themselves. Ellie learned that curiosity was a gift that opened doors. Theo discovered that quiet observation held its own power. But after what felt like both a minute and a lifetime, Lysandra took them to a quiet room lit by a single lantern. "This is the heart of the library," she said. "Here, stories are born. Would you like to leave something behind?" They each took a quill and wrote, a memory, a hope, a piece of themselves. Their words shimmered and rose into the lantern, becoming part of the light. "It's time to go," Lysandra said gently. When they opened their eyes, they were back in the Maplewick Library. The book was closed in Ellie's lap. The lantern symbol glowed for a moment, then faded. For weeks after, they returned to the spot, hoping to go back. But the hatch was gone. The tapestry hung still. Still, something had changed. They noticed magic in little things, the way the autumn leaves danced like they were laughing, the warmth of old pages, the sparkle in someone's eyes when they were truly seen. And every time they were kind, curious, or brave, it felt as though the lantern inside them glowed a little brighter. Years later, they would tell the story to others, quietly, by the fire, or beneath the stars, because the best stories aren't the ones we just read, but the ones that remind us of who we are and who we can be. Moral: magic is not just found in faraway places or enchanted libraries. It lives in curiosity, in friendship, and in the stories we choose to write with our lives.